Welcome after the flag from Buriram, and the rematch is officially on. We are down to 2 in the race for the 2024 MotoGP World Championship. Now only Jorge Martin and Pedro Bagnaia can be mathematically crowned champion after today's Thai Grand Prix, when the pair of them put on an incredible display of riding skill in such tough conditions. It was must win for Pedro Bagnaia today. Pedro Bagnaia did win. Suddaby and Simon Crafar will talk through all the key moments and look ahead to what remains in the final 2 weekends of the season. But once again, our 2 title contenders, boy, did they show that they can handle pressure today.
Yeah, and I've got to say, absolute class. Like, you could see the bikes moving all over the place. They were losing the front, losing the rear, and so easy to crash. Imagine racing in that, you know, with riders that are as fast as you, proper battling right on the edge of falling off, more so than even in the dry. And then you've got a championship on your shoulders, knowing that all of your team, your job for that season is out the window. You know, massive pressure, and they handled it so well. And Pecco coming good like he does on Sunday, if he gets enough time at it, he absolutely shone again today, you know, really did. I know there wasn't much difference in it, you know, it was a real fine line. I mean, Mark made the mistake, Marquez, I think there was going to be a proper scrap there. And in the fight, who knows who would have made that mistake, because it's so easy for either of them to do it. So, yeah, the front, especially the podium, absolutely fantastic work from them.
Yeah, Pedro Acosta completed that podium. The victory, though, today, a 9th win of 2024, went to Pedro Bagnaia. He's giving his reaction now to Matt Burt.
So here with the reigning world champion, Pedro Bagnaia. Pedro, we know that at this stage of the season, these are high-stress situations. What was going through your mind about an hour before the race when you saw it started raining? Then you're in that fight with Marquez in 2nd place. He came through twice, and you just told me as well that this is your first ever Grand Prix victory in the rain. What a time to do it. Congratulations, and what a victory.
Best timing was impossible, so I'm happy, very happy. Was a day to make the difference, and luckily we did it. I want to dedicate this victory to my team, because after the morning we just sit down and speak it to understand what to do to improve the situation, because I was struggling a lot on braking. And we did it again, so I'm so happy. Wasn't an easy race because it was very long and stressful, but as soon as I started, I saw that my feeling was very good, and I saw Jorge pushing a lot, but I just decided to wait 2 more laps to make the rear was more ready, and as soon as it was, I just tried to catch him back, and then I opened the gap, but Mark was pushing hard, so I tried everything. In the lap he crashed, we were 2/10 faster in the sector 3, so it was an incredible lap already, and the pace was super strong. I was knowing that was important to make up, and that I was finished first in 2nd to gain more points on for the championship, but I'm super happy.
Talk us through that battle as well with Mark. I mean, we know how good he is, how strong he is in that last sector, in particular on the brakes in a turn 12. He came through twice. You got him straight away back on the cutback. I mean, just talk us through that the battle, because as you say, at that stage, both of you had fantastic pace.
Yeah, I was expecting every lap there that he was trying to overtake, because I was quite careful on corner 11, because on the first laps I lost it a bit there, and I was just careful. And every time I was hearing that he was arriving there, so I said, okay, he will try absolutely there, and it was. But I was braking very hard, so to make possible the overtake, he needed to force a bit too much, and it was always a little wide, and give it to me every time the possibility to cross the line. But was fun.
17 points, the gap in the championship. I mean, a lot of people were talking after yesterday's sprint, Pedro, that this was a race you almost had to win, certainly to finish in front of Jorge. So to win it in such difficult circumstances, I mean, we could see the relief, the emotion when you crossed line. I mean, did you feel yourself it was a must-win race today?
Absolutely. In terms of championship, not too much, but in terms of feeling, in terms of mental side was very important, not just for me but also for him. So it's a good day for us, for everything. And the 17, that is the gap, is a good number for me. So.
And just tell us why it has taken you so long to win a race in the rain. I can't quite believe this is your first one.
Because I always crashed, or I always not fast enough. Because 2 years ago I was fighting for the win, but I arrived 1.9 or 2 seconds behind the leader. The pace was there, but wasn't enough. And today, from the start, I believed a lot on trying to do it, and was the case to. Was the best time.
Your 9th Sunday win, your 15th win of the season. Fantastic job, Pecco. Very well done.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, not a bad time, is it, to find your first wet weather win in MotoGP. Boy, did he need that one today. And we got another idea there, just listening to Pecco explaining how that battle went, particularly with Marc Marquez, of just how clever, just how good his racecraft is at the battle. When so much pressure is on his shoulders, it brought back memories for me during the commentary of the race of what happened in Jerez when Marc Marquez put 2 moves on him at the same corner. On both occasions, Bagnaia was able to see that one coming, take it on the cutback. And again, Bagnaia recognising where Marquez was going to be stronger, where he was going to attack and be ready for it.
He is good at that. The one it reminded me of was he heard Jorge behind him in turn 2, braking for the chicane in 2A and B in Austria. And he said, if I push it really hard, I know that Jorge will have to overcook it and maybe make a mistake. Exactly what happened. Then came round and knew he would get a penalty because he was too close. I mean, it's brilliant that Pecco can think that clearly about race strategies while on the bike. And yeah, it's one of his talents.
Of course, once Marc Marquez had crashed out, that promoted Jorge Martin to 2nd place. Now, we knew after the sprint yesterday that 5 seconds was going to be enough for Jorge Martin to win the championship if Bagnaia took 5 wins. Now, of course, that is much more easier said than done, but how impressed were you with the way Jorge Martin handled the pressure today?
Well, I was scared for him, as I said on the live in the early laps, because he was straight out there. And the difficult thing is no one matched his pace in those early laps. So he was into the unknown first, you know, and with so much to lose, I was like, wow, Jorge, I know his team manager, Gino Besoy, would have been really nervous. And Jorge was like straight in there, just going on his feeling, which the team had told him to do. But that feeling was pretty good confidence. Then, after a few laps, everyone else came up to his pace, took them a bit longer. We've seen in the past that can win some wet races because everyone matches the time, but the person quickly up to the speed, that ability to do that allows them to keep the gap. But the others came back at him. Maybe there was something like things going on in his head, like, I can't afford to lose this one, whatever it was. They came back.
He came very close to losing it, didn't he, in turn 8?
Yes, yeah. It was not long after Mark had crashed.
Yeah,
and I was thinking,
same point.
How many are we going to lose this one? Like I was saying, super easy to make a mistake.
And Jorge Martin made the odd mistake, but no mistakes ultimately that cost him that 2nd place. His lead is now 17 points over Pecco Bagnaia. He's giving his reaction to Matt.
Yeah, Jorge Martin, 2nd place in this Buriram race. Jorge, that was super stressful. Such a difficult race. Of course, you made the pace at the start. You ran wide at turn 3. There was some real big moments. But to take the 20 points, that feels like one of the most important 2nd places of your career.
I think, as you said, was really challenging race today, challenging day. I think nobody, I don't want anybody to feel what I felt before the race. I think being Pecco or me at this stage of the championship with these conditions is not good. But I think I was quite calm. I was really, you know, I think keeping the, I don't know the word, like the calm a lot, and the race went well. The beginning was super good, but straight away, as soon as I started, I saw that the feeling wasn't the warm-up feeling. I was struggling a lot to open the throttle. I was sliding a lot from the rear, and I was even increasing that gap. But at some point, I saw that they had something else. I went by it in corner 3, and Pecco and Mark overtook me. Then I tried to stay close to them because I thought maybe on a potential move at the end of the race. But as soon as Mark crashed, I also lose the front the same way as him, but I was able to save it. I went wide, I was able to save that crash, and from that point just control the distance to Jack and to Pedro, because they were coming also strong.
How did you save it? I mean, we all had our hearts in our mouths in the commentary box. I'm sure all the fans all around the world. I mean, that was super close, Jorge.
I think I had a lot of moments during the race. I was always really close to crash, so I was always ready to save it. I think I saw Mark lose the front, so then I was prepared to lose the front also, so that's why I saved it. I think without Mark in front of me, I would have crashed. So thanks to that, I'm sorry for him for sure, but thanks to that crash, I was able to understand and anticipate a bit.
Yeah, react a little bit.
Exactly.
How happy were you when you saw the checker flag? Because that was a long 26 laps. And as you say, when you're fighting for the World Championship, so much pressure on the shoulders of you and Pecco. I think we saw a slow motion shot of you with the visor up, almost just like, thankfully that race is finished.
Yeah, trust me, it was a really long race. I was the last few laps, I was thinking like, fuck, I just wanted to be in dry, you know. I thought that in dry I have something else, something more than Pecco at the moment, so I wanted in dry. He was super strong today. I mean, you can see, he's a great champion. He's not three-time world champion because of nothing. He's strong in all the conditions. I try to keep his pace, and just losing 3 points is a really good weekend, trust me.
17 clear, 2 rounds, 4 races remaining. Jorge, you're getting ever so closer to the dream. I mean, are you still relaxed, calm? I mean, Marc Marquez said on Thursday, it's impossible to not feel some tension, some pressure at this stage.
I felt the tension for, like 6 or 7 races ago. I try to learn from every situation. I think this weekend I learned something more, and I'm really happy, and I have a lot of confidence of how I raced yesterday. I think this is the way of my this is my riding style. This is what I want to bring into Malaysia, because it's what took me here. So I will try to attack and try to be in front of Pecco.
Great save, great race. Well done, Jorge.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.
It was a great save. It was a great race. Jorge Martin finishes second this afternoon. And every Grand Prix that goes by, he said himself, he maybe learned a bit more about himself this weekend. He's going into territory that he's, yes, been before, but he was the chaser last year. How much different, how much tougher is it mentally when you're the rider defending that points lead rather than chasing?
Yeah, well, he was, he's a great rider. Like you said, great race today, but I think that was a great interview as well, because you got a window, and he showed us, how he was feeling, what he was thinking, and you got an idea how hard the pressure is, especially on the start line, but also how hard it was to stay up in that race. So easy, I'll say again, to make a mistake. And he's pretty much told us his plan, and that is to ride like yesterday. He rode like, I've said it before, he rode like his life depended on yesterday's race. He was just all in, and I loved watching it. And I couldn't believe I was watching that, because I knew he only had to finish second. But he said in his debrief that he focuses better when he's all in, like riding like that. And I think, the good thing for us and the fans to watch is we're going to see more of that from now on. You're not going to see him roll off and take it easy. You're going to see him attack, because that's how he feels the best. His focuses the best, less chance of making a mistake. But at the same time, riding like that, it's easy to make a mistake. So, yeah, I'm really happy that he's decided to ride it like that, because we're going to be entertained from here on.
Three-way battle for the final podium position today between 3 of the Pure Mobility Group machines. Jack Miller led that battle for so long. We'll talk about him in a moment. Brad Binder, in the end, just had to give best. In the end, he finished in 6th place. Pedro Acosta, though, won that battle. Just when we think he's shown us everything, that he's proven everything already in his rookie season. Not a lot of wet weather experience behind Pedro Acosta this season. First wet MotoGP races on the podium. It
was the reason I said to him in Parc Ferme that his fan base is growing because of what we saw today. He never gives up. And he's, he's not at all like Marc, but he's like Marc in that they're completely different people, but how he attacks, he's literally all in, like Marc says, and he either falls off trying to get the gas to an amazing position, or he does something amazing with it, which we've seen in Indonesia. I keep bringing that up because it was a stunning ride from him behind Jorge in the main race on Sunday. Incredible ride. And as he said a couple of times before that the Ducati riders have a little bit left in their pocket. They don't have to ride over the edge, but he does. He has to ride on the edge or a little bit over to try and fight with them. And he's right up for that. So he just keeps having an amazing ride, you know. He mentioned that he didn't have, this is experience as well, he didn't have enough temperature in the brakes, ran off. I mean, imagine how many wet races he's done on MotoGP.
0.
Yeah, so his brake temperature not up. Oh, he runs off the track, loses positions, and then a couple other things. Then figures out the grip level, figures out the brake, and then marches forward and ends up on the podium. At his experience, he's the next big thing. I know I've said it regularly, but I genuinely believe it. All KTM need to do is try and close that gap a little to give him a bit more to work with, and we're going to see him win.
He is a phenomenal talent. He demonstrated it once again today. A podium in the wet for Pedro Acosta. He's giving his reaction now to Matt.
Yeah, Pedro Acosta, a fantastic third place in what was a really demanding, very difficult Buriram Grand Prix. Well done, Pedro. Some great battles out there, great fights with your KTM colleagues, Brad Binder and Jack Miller. Well done, your first wet weather podium in MotoGP. It did look like it was quite a long and stressful race, though, for you.
Yeah, it was long, that for sure. You know, at the end, the first time that I see the board was like 16 to go, and I say, come on. You know, but I don't know, it was super nice. Also was a race that I was looking for to try to be calm, think with the head, think about the mappings, the evolution of the track and everything. We need to be happy because there was also many races that we was not finishing for this. I think this race was important.
It looked like in the first part of the race, maybe a little bit of an issue either with the tyre temperature or with the brake temperature. Just a little embrace here with his teammate, Augusto Fernandez. Just in the first part of the race, when you said you made the mistake into turn 3, what was the particular problem you were having at that stage, Pedro?
Well, I don't know why I was struggling a lot to warming the disc and the rear tire, and I was like, oh shit, here I come. And from the, you know that these carbon discs are quite sensible to the temperature, and I don't really want it to block the front tire for nothing, you know. Also then I lose the front in turn 1, and I was wide also for this. We need to say that it was a good race, because inside everything was many new things for myself. I was not making more than 10 or 12 laps in a row in a wet bike for this. I don't know, we need to be happy.
And as we mentioned, some great battles, in particular the final battle for the podium with Jack Miller. I just imagine you in those last couple of laps having a big smile on your face, because always good to have a battle with Jack, and obviously always good to come out on top.
Yeah, super nice to this battle with Jack. At the end, he's exactly in the same mentality than me. He was hitting me, I was trying to hit him. I think it's imagine that I was looking like this to him, you know. This had to be super nice, but anyway, I'm quite happy with this battle because also was inside the respect, and we don't want it to make a mess inside the box, crashing both for this. I don't know, it was super nice to battle with him and also with Brad.
And just finally, very quickly, I mean, just how much did you need this result? I mean, you've had the speed in the last 2 or 3 Grand Prix, just a little bit of bad luck, but this feels like this result was just come at the right time after the unfortunate injury in Phillip Island.
Yeah, well, was necessary to finish a race with a good pace, always with a strong pace and not making any crazy thing for this. We need to be happy.
Great job. Well done, Pedro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Certainly is happy after that. Pedro Acosta back on the podium. A fantastic battle. We certainly enjoyed watching it, that battle with Jack Miller. A word on that battle and also a word on Jack's performance today. I guess he's shown us in the past how good he is in those conditions. Another demonstration of that today.
It must have hurt Jack to lose the podium in those 2 positions in 2 laps. The last 2 after doing all that hard work. The battle I really enjoyed between Pedro and Jack. The couple of things is when Pedro got really close and up beside on the, it's like almost like a double apex turn 3. You could see he could have forced it and run into the side of Jack, smashed Jack out of the way, and he was just cleverly you know, respectfully, cleanly, he would roll off and stay behind. You know, this isn't. Yeah,
this is with Binder.
Right, this is with Binder. So he just made experienced, clean moves, and that from a rider of that experience is quite amazing. You know, like riders in this position with something special right there ready to grab will do some desperate things, and he doesn't. He's floating on the edge, as you can see there, and when he sees a problem, predicts it. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. You watch this. So no, he was on the inside. No, it's a different one. They did another one, but they're the other way around. Jack was on the outside, and Pedro rolled off to give room. You know, otherwise there was going to be an impact and maybe someone go down, or you know, and someone with less care or less clean would just smash their way through. You know, and yeah, he just shows skill, massive promise, and yeah, obviously, yeah, talent, whatever. He's got the whole lot.
Certainly has. Two of the riders that we have to touch upon before we go. Fourth place today, equaling his best of the season, which he took a week ago actually in Australia for Fabio Di Giannantonio. It's well worth talking about him here because his season is now over. He'll be going off for surgery on his shoulder, so we won't see him again until pre-season next year. His ride today obviously was outstanding, but how proud should Fabio Di Giannantonio be of his whole 2024? Yeah,
I mean, he gave us the answer actually, and what I can do is give you an idea of what he said. He said last year was more exciting because he made more progress, you know, all the way to that, you know, first podium and then first win, which is what his aim was. This year hasn't been as much progress, like always. When you get to this level, it's hard to make more steps, you know, especially big ones. But he said he's been much more consistent. He's been good, competitive, you know, fast everywhere. And he's right. And he said he's proud, and he should be.
And finally, a word on the new Moto2 world champion. That was all wrapped up today. The race was cut short ever so slightly by a red flag. MotoGP is in his future. He'll be with Trackhouse Aprilia next season. But a word on the new Moto2 world champion, Iagura.
It was so nice to watch him come into pit lane and his next year's team all come out and applaud him. And yeah, a word on him. We know him from our return flights in Europe. We take the same flights, Lewis and I, and often get to talk to the Honda Asia, Team Asia riders. You know, that's because he used to be as he was coming through. And he's one of those guys, he looks to us not so friendly in the beginning, but he's super shy. And then as you get to know him, he kind of comes out of his shell a little bit, and then you realize he's a character in there. But he's very hard on himself. A second is just not good enough. You know, he's like proper grumpy. We've seen him, like disappointed, and that's even his first seconds. You know, he's one of those riders that is so determined to win, and he got close a couple of years ago, and now getting it across the line. One more quick thing. I said it in Parc Ferme. His ability to adapt himself to the situation, the bike, the tyres during the race, and improve, that is a massive skill, and champions have that. He's got it.
And a skill that certainly will be valuable to him next season when he moves into MotoGP. If you're watching us live, the press conference is coming up next as we'll hear from the top three in this thrilling and tense Thai Grand Prix. If not, join us next weekend in Malaysia as the rematch is on. It is Martin versus Bagnaia for the MotoGP World Championship. 2 rounds to go.